fathom any young woman being wooed by that man's wine goblets. As they prepare the stage for the next play, you'll see that the set pieces are all fairly simple. This helps us perform 6 unique plays in just one night. No easy task, to say the least. The next play comes all the way from Des Moines, Iowa, by Mr. William S.E. Coleman. The comedy drama, April in June.
When I turned 25 yesterday, I decided it was time for me to get married. Young women like me have a limited shelf life, and I'm approaching my expiration date at warp speed. Today, my search for a husband will end. See that handsome young man sitting over there? He comes here every day at noon. When I walk by, he looks at me. I know he finds me attractive. Why? Because I am attractive. How do I know that? By looking at myself in a mirror. That's up. You all look at yourselves in mirrors. Know thyself. That's what one of those ancient philosophers say. Is there any better way to know thyself than by looking in the mirror? Beauty may be superficial, but it's the only weapon attractive young women like me have. With that said, you may sit back and relax. You're about to witness an entire courtship in one short play. Its ending will be as inevitable as the ending of a Greek tragedy. But there will be no pain, no suffering, and none of that hideous wailing and gnashing of teeth. No. This play will have a happy ending. I'll see to that. At least I'll see to it that this play has a happy ending. Shall we begin? You're feeding pigeons. How wonderful.
Doesn't everyone?
I never saw a man do that before.
That's a sexist remark.
Even if it's true.
Especially if it's true.
Are you being clever?
I hope so.
I hope not. Clever men are rarely compassionate. Sometimes they're downright nasty.
I like to think I'm a caring, compassionate human being.
Of course you are. That's why you're feeding hungry pigeons. Brazen flattery is an excellent first step.
Are you coming on to me?
Isn't that what attractive young men and women do during lunch hours in public parks?
Beware. My life has been an unending series of traumas and disappointments. I'm a living train wreck.
Oh dear.
I'm one of the world's walking wounded.
May I comfort you?
Are you the nurturing type?
I'm a woman, that's what we do.
Well, I must warn you, I'm not the most stable person in the world.
Really? I'm so pleased. You're unstable, I'm stable. We're diametric opposites. Isn't that wonderful?
I've always heard that opposites detract.
Not so. Drastic differences create the foundation of a strong and lasting relationship.
Now you're suggesting we have a relationship?
This is going to be much more than a relationship.
You say that with such certainty.
Call it women's intuition. I'm a woman, therefore I'm a very intuitive person.
That's what I was afraid of.
What's your name? We must progress to a first name basis as quickly as possible.
Well, my name is Timothy, but my friends call me Tim.
Tim. That's a nice name. Short and to the point. But I'm going to call you Timothy. Intimacy is so much better when it's wrapped in formality. But when we make love, I'll call Timmy.
We're gonna make love?
That's far in the future. I'm not an easy leg.
Oh, neither am I.
Of course you are. You're a man. My name is April.
Sweet April showers do bring May flowers.
Poetry. How romantic. Do you read books?
At least one a week. And you?
I never read books. But I watch television during my every waking hour. It's relentless curiosity keeping me pace on the realities of life.
You like to escape reality?
Doesn't everybody?
I agree! I read great books because they have absolutely no relationship to the mundane reality of my life.
You read books. I watch television. We're totally compatible. Playing dumb makes men feel dominant. It's a useful tactic. That's for you ladies. As for you men, I didn't say that. Now, while we share the cozy intimacy of feeding these delightful pigeons, tell me the story of your life. We must get to know each other better.
My life is rather boring.
Tell me everything, and don't leave out the nasty parts. Of course, I'll look shocked when you do. As a woman, my sensibilities are very delicate.
Well, first I was born in...
A wonderful place to begin. Hear that lovely sound? It serves a practical dramatic purpose. Each time you hear them, they will symbolize the passing of time. Right now, they will allow us to skip through Timothy's boring story of his life.
Which leads me to my adolescence.
Oh, I loved my adolescence. It was so tragic until I grew boobs. Oh, then it became the happiest time of my life.
My adolescence was a procession of embarrassments and shortcomings and all those zips and unexpected changes in my voice.
Were you interested in girls?
Well, yes, but they weren't interested in me.
You poor dear.
There were other humiliations, too. All the kids picked on me. They called me names, like Four Eyes.
You wore glasses?
No, I had 4 eyes.
Poor boy!
Well, the operations cost my parents a fortune.
More than braces?
Oh, much more. They're still paying for them.
Is there anything more wonderful than loving parents?
I was joking.
You should never joke about your loving parents.
No, I mean I was joking about the 4 eyes.
How brave of you to do that.
Do you believe everything I say?
Only witty things.
Well, now it's your turn to tell me the story of your life.
Why? I do that with my shrink.
You go to psychotherapy too?
Twice a week, I have a desperate need to bare my deepest secrets to a profit-motivated human being.
You have deepest secrets too.
Of course not. I make them up. How else will my shrink make his living?
I love deepest secrets that are true. Continue.
And after I don't know how many expensive sessions, I realized my father fixation and began my quest for a surrogate father figure.
So you're looking for a father figure.
Yes, but only if he's young and virile. You fit the bill perfectly. So much so I'm compelled to tell you I find you very attractive. Do you find me attractive?
I find you extremely attractive.
Are you imagining having sex with me?
Would you mind if I did?
Not at all. God designed me to be a sex object.
Even in a fantasy?
Especially in fantasy. I love fantasy. It's the ultimate kind of safe sex. As you women know, all young men are perpetually horny. It's their Achilles heel. It's where you attack, observe, and learn. As for you men, what follows is a fanciful fiction. Are you lusting after me?
Now that's an embarrassing question.
There's nothing wrong with a little lust. It speeds along a male-female relationship.
In that case, I just broke the speed limit.
Are you undressing me with your eyes?
Of course, isn't that what all young men do?
Have you undressed me completely?
Oh, no, not yet. I like to take my time.
I like that in a man. Am I putting up a good fight?
You're putting up an excellent fight.
I hope I'm losing.
Oh, I like those lacy underwear. They're so feminine.
I bought them just for you. Do I have a good figure?
Oh, from what I can tell, you have a great figure, but I can be really sure if you take off all your clothes.
Is that why you're trying to snap my bra?
Oh, I hate these clasps. They always give me such a hard time.
May I help you?
Oh, I like how you did that. Oh, is there anything more beautiful than a woman's back line?
Now, what do you think of my figure?
Oh, it's fabulous.
What are we doing now?
Oh, we're kissing passionately.
Sometimes I'm such a bad girl.
You're so delightful when you're a naughty girl.
When were we gonna have sex?
I thought you'd never ask.
Was it good for you?
I was supposed to ask that question.
Is that a postcoital rule?
No, but it's a customary male question.
I'm not customary, but I'm very ordinary.
You, ordinary.
I'm just an old-fashioned girl.
I find old-fashioned girls terrifying.
As you should. We old-fashioned girls are quite unprincipled when it comes to getting what we want.
And what do you want?
Old-fashioned things.
Such as?
I like to have a vine-covered house on a woodsy, streamsy lot.
Sounds like a bad painting.
I love bad paintings. We'll decorate our living room with oodles of them. The vulgarity will heighten the cultural tone of our social gatherings.
I insist we have a Leroy Neiman painting, and it has to hang above the fireplace.
I won't disagree with him now. That comes after we're married. Until then, I'll promise him anything he wants.
What else do you want?
We have to have 2 bathrooms. One for me, one for you to pee on the floor to your heart's content.
How very understanding of you.
We'll have 2 cars. One for town and boring errands. The other will be luxurious. We'll go to church in that one.
I have to go to church.
Of course, going to church confirms our position in society.
I'll only go if it'll be a career move.
We'll convert to your boss's religion.
If he has a religion.
All bosses go to church. That's how they got to be bosses.
Never thought of it that way.
Before we go any further, I have a very important question to ask you. Are you financially solvent?
I make an obscene amount of money for a minimal amount of work.
Are you in danger of being downsized?
I do that to people under me.
You're ruthless in your workplace.
That's how I make an obscene amount of money.
I find ruthless men sexually exciting. They turn me on. To calm any doubts you might have, I'm relentlessly heterosexual.
I find that very attractive in a woman.
I enjoy sex, but I don't live for it.
I agree. One has to have time to golf.
I've experimented a little, but I've lived a relative sheltered life, but I know what pleases a man. Okay, I've experimented a little, but you know, it's just the usual things you do on the back seats of cars after a movie. Foreplay on the living room couch while my parents were asleep. And once in a while, just once in a while, something really bad against a tree during a Sunday school picnic.
The usual coming of age thing.
I'm practically a virgin. And you?
I was one of the guys at the Sunday school picnic.
Sunday school picnics were so much fun.
They were like your first driving lesson.
Practice makes perfect.
I've been preparing for this moment for a long time.
You were quite proficient. A man should have a certain amount of sexual expertise.
And you were very innovative and acrobatic. It was unlike anything I've ever experienced.
Even though it happened in your imagination?
You went beyond my imagination.
I suppose you're wondering about oral sex.
Now that you mention it.
I want to keep it special.
What do you mean by special?
We'll use it to celebrate your birthday.
What about Thanksgiving? I like to be thankful.
Of course. I'll even throw in Christmas and New Year's too.
What about Easter?
I never do it on religious holidays.
But you mentioned Christmas.
Christmas has a pagan origin. It's an appropriate time for pagan acts.
Thanksgiving is 6 months away.
Then you'll have something to look forward to.
I can hardly wait.
I suppose you're wondering about my career ambitions.
Second income always helps.
My only ambition is to get married and have children. 2, perhaps. 3 if we can afford them. In return for financial security, I promise to be a good and consistent leg. That's how you'll be faithful and continue to provide for our children. There are so many predatory women out there that prey on unhappily married men. Wives have to stay one step ahead of those bitches when it comes to sexual innovations.
You really are an atavistic throwback.
Atavistic. That's a word I never heard before.
It means a return to something ancient or ancestral.
Are you by any chance an intellectual?
I hope not.
What did you mean when you called me a throwback? Is that some kind of fish?
No. You are a quaint reminder to a forgotten past. If there were time machines, you'd be deported.
I like the past. It never changes. It's the future that worries me.
Thinking what will happen next excites me.
That's because you're a man. Men need adventure. They need it until they settle down and become responsible citizens.
Unfortunately, settling down is our biological destiny.
Unfortunately? Do you have trouble making a commitment?
I'm not sure.
You didn't answer my question.
I answered it when I said I'm not sure.
I gave myself to you. I did exceptional sexual things just for you, and you're not sure about making a commitment?
I'm a man. All men have trouble making a commitment.
Not sensitive men who feed pigeons.
What does me feeding pigeons have to do with making a commitment?
If you can commit to birds, you can commit to me.
This isn't making any sense!
Of course it doesn't. We're having our first quarrel. All quarrels are irrational. That's why they're so much fun. We must have at least one quarrel a month.
When we do, can I storm out of the house and go to a bar?
Only if I'm helplessly weeping. Oh dear, I have to get back to work.
Oh, I'm late for an important meeting.
Shall we meet here tomorrow?
I'm here every day at noon.
I know.
Are you stalking me?
What other choice does a single woman whose self-life's expiring have?
More at noon?
And every noon thereafter.
Will there be more fantasy sex?
Of course, it's important we sit on a regular basis.
I'm so glad we did what we didn't do.
Me too. I feel so deliciously guilty.
Even though it happened in the fantasy.
All sins begin with fantasy. Then the man plays his cards right. They progress to reality.
Oh, reality. That's what my married friends say all the real action is.
Sin is so necessary. We can't be redeemed without sin. Without redemption, we would never have a loving relationship with our Lord and Master.
I've never heard a better rationalization for sinning.
To be a moral person, one must rationalize.
Isn't that what religion's about? Rationalization.
Religion. We'll discuss that in depth tomorrow.
I thought it was going to be as simple as going to my boss's church.
Religion is much more profound than going to your boss's church.
Will we discuss religion before or after we have sex?
It'll be during.
You consider sex to be a religious experience?
Of course. Having sex is so much better than going to church. Speaking of church, we must set a date for our wedding.
Our wedding?
We're getting married, aren't we?
Married? I thought this was a hypothetical discussion.
Isn't getting married, as you so nicely put it, our biological destiny?
But I'm not ready to get married.
Of course you are. You're a mature male who wants to get laid on a regular basis. Just think of all the time they'll save by not going to some sordid single bar. Not to mention all those money you spend on expensive drinks.
But
Until tomorrow. And please be on time. We have so many important things to discuss and do. I hope you women found this instructive. As for you men, this never happened.